Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, back to One for Review. As you can see, we're as festive as ever. We got our tree up, my new Santa hat, and since it's so close to Christmas Day, it's very fitting we review a Christmas movie. I'm your host, as always, Grant, in our temporary relocation as we move our office to a new location. Yeah, that was a weird sentence. So what a better way to end the year than with another attempt by Warner Brothers and DC to have a hit superhero film. The new one we have today is Aquaman. This is the sixth installment into the DC Cinematic Universe, directed by James Wan, yes, the same guy behind The Fate of the Furious and Saw, so that's how you know we're in good hands. This is a screenplay by David Leslie Johnson, Goldrick, and Will Bell. Yeah, these are people I'm very unfamiliar with, but good for them. Quick story summary goes as follows. The movie takes place a year after Steppenwolf's attack. What? Who's he? Exactly. Remember Justice League? What a hit! Anyways, Aquaman, aka Arthur Curry, the heir to the underwater kingdom of Atlantis, must step forward to lead his people against his half-brother Orm, who seeks to unite the 7 underwater kingdoms against the surface world. Starring award-winning actors as Jason Momoa as Aquaman, aka Arthur Curry, Amber Heard as Mera, Patrick Wilson as Orm, the Ocean Master, Nicole Kidman as Atlanta, Dolph Lundgren as King Nevaris, and William Dafoe as Vulko. Okay, now I have to be honest, I wasn't really excited for Aquaman. I never was. In fact, for quite a while now, I've really not been feeling the American superhero movies. They all kind of become the same kind of generic story, and I'm just kind of tired of seeing it. Aquaman did intrigue me with the very good word of mouth that it got, the good reviews, the trailers that were coming out. It really did get me interested in the movie, a lot more interested. The lead actor, Jason Momoa, being Hawaiian, my people, I was very excited to see him in the movie representing us. But anyways, that's not the reason I was interested. But anyways, getting back to the movie's story. Now, I've heard a lot of people will talk about the story, saying it makes no sense, saying that's absolutely ridiculous, it's multiple movies thrown into one, a lot of complaints. And gotta be honest here, I really don't understand those complaints about all these movies being thrown in. I do understand where it doesn't make sense for some people. That I can understand, or I can see people getting lost, or in this 2-hour and 30-minute long movie, just kind of getting bored. And I do see that, but the thing is I think maybe I'm just so used to this kind of storytelling. I've watched a lot of films like this. Mainly Japanese films tend to be like this, and Korean films. So I don't really see that big of a deal. I'm kind of used to it. And in terms of that, I think they did a really good job at trying to create like this Lord of the Rings style epic, which is kind of weird because it's supposed to be a superhero movie, which it is at points, but it doesn't seem like they're going for that. I really do like Aquaman. I do like his comics, or I did like his comics growing up, and I did like the character a lot. So I did want to see what they were going to do with him, and I really liked the world that they created in this. The exposition of the world building behind the world, how it works. I think it's really well done. There's a little too much of it and not enough of actual dialogue and character development. But, yeah, I don't really know what to say there. They could have balanced a little bit more. I do find the story a lot more interesting than, say, Justice League or Wonder Woman or Suicide Squad. The story of, Aquaman coming out, to become the heir, stop Orm from, getting the 7 kingdoms to attack, the land because he holds a grudge towards them. I do like that, even though it is I've seen people compare this to Black Panther. Yeah, this movie was made in production a long time before Black Panther, so I'm pretty sure they didn't copy them. And this is a very common story. It's not original by any means. But there is a uniqueness to this film, and that is Atlantis. And I do like how they portrayed Atlantis. I love the underwater segments. And I do love, the style and the look of the movie. I did like a lot of the characters involved with the movie. And I think that's the best way to put it. The story it's pretty, generic. It's not original. You could pretty much predict it for most of the part, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially for a superhero movie, because I can predict any superhero movie. I predicted almost every single superhero movie. I even predicted Infinity War by saying half of the people, or if not all the people, were going to die except for the original guys. That might be a spoiler if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it already, who cares? On to the characters. Now, I really do believe the characters needed a lot more time to develop. This is a problem I did have with it. Aquaman didn't have enough time, even though I did like him. I did like all the characters, but you just don't get enough time with them, not enough dialogue. Most of it's substituted with big action scenes. In fact, there got to be a point where it was ridiculous how every scene transition to an action scene was the same, where it was just like it was a quiet moment followed by a giant explosion, and this happened constantly throughout the film, and it got a little bit irritating towards the end, and I kind of wanted it to stop, but at least the action scenes were well done. So my problem with the characters is that they're all really good. I like the looks of them. I like the costume design behind them. I like the people portraying them. The only problem I have is that I wish there was a lot more dialogue, a lot more character development between the characters. Instead, there's just a lot more, visual effects and action scene magic, which it's kind of like Avatar in a way, where I do enjoy this a lot more than Avatar because it's someone I actually care about, which is Aquaman, and Avatar I didn't give a crap about. But other than that, like, the characters weren't bland, they were likable for the most part if you know them, but I can see if you don't know these characters, you're not going to be invested in this story. Moving on to presentation. The presentation, let's start with visual effects and practical effects. The visual effects and practical effects are stunning. This is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. It's drop dead gorgeous, and that's probably the best thing about this film. It embraces the look of the comics and in such a way I've never seen before. I've never seen a superhero movie just embrace its comic book counterparts as much as this. Like, everything in this movie looks like an Aquaman comic. It just does, and it looks amazing. It looks great. Unlike Wonder Woman, which had dated CGI, and so did Justice League, this one just like has amazing CGI. It just looks gorgeous, and all the effects are amazing, and the costume design's great. The practical effects that are there are some, are very good, and the action scenes that come with it are all spectacular. This is really where James Wong knows what he was doing with the action scenes. He did a great job with that. That's really the only thing I could say. I did like how the villains fought with, Mera and Aquaman. I liked how their powers worked together. Yeah, I wish there was a story that I really enjoyed to go along with that, but that's kind of what you get. So yeah, I love the visual effects. I think the movie looks amazing. And as in terms of music, the music's really good. It's not by any means, it's not memorable, great, but it is very, 80s kind of music, which I do know everybody's trying to do. And unlike Thor Ragnarok, which was very distracting to me, don't get me wrong, I do like that movie quite a bit. Here it's more integrated into the plot, and it blends into the background very nicely. It blends into what's going on. So I did really like the music, accompanied with the visual effects. That's really what held this movie up for me. That's really what did it for me. The visual effects, the music, the style, the action scenes, and, I guess some of the characters. Okay, now to finish up the review. What do I think in general of the movie? I think the story needs work. Did need a lot of work. It's not a mess. It's a very simple story, honestly. I don't have a problem with all the things going on. I actually thought the story was great in terms of how it was set up, but I do wish there was a lot more character moments, a lot more character development, a lot more focus on characters, more so than on action scenes. I did like how it kind of turned into an Indiana Jones-esque movie during one part, but I wish I had a little bit more of that. And I do love the visuals. I do love the sets that they have, the different environments. I love how they don't shy away from going completely, stylized, completely like the comics. I really like that. The characters were okay. I can't really complain. I did like Jason Momoa a lot. I really like him as an actor. He's a great guy, really fun guy. So I really was excited to see him as Aquaman. He did a good job. The rest are pretty good. I did like Ocean Master quite a bit. He was cool. I also liked his outfit. That was probably the coolest part about him. In terms of visual effects, like I said, spectacular, and music, spectacular in some way. My final verdict for Aquaman has to be a 7 out of 10. I can't really go above 7 because I don't believe this movie really reaches that great moment. There are great scenes, great ideas. I like a lot of stuff about it, but it's not a great film. But I also don't think it's a slightly above average film. I did quite enjoy this movie, and I would watch it again if I could. But, it is Christmas, and I don't have time to watch it again, and I have other stuff I have to do. So I did enjoy this movie quite a bit. Doesn't mean it's perfect. I hope you all enjoyed my last movie review of the year. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be Aquaman, but whatever. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Please tell me what you guys thought about Aquaman. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you not care about it? Just tell me anything down in the comments. I will read them. I will see what you guys have to say. I'm Grant for One Fair Review. As always, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.